হ্যালো স্টুডেন্টস, আজকে আমরা সলভ করব ক্লাস 5 এর হিস্ট্রি চ্যাপ্টার 6 রাইটস অ্যান্ড ডিউটিজের এক্সারসাইজের সমস্ত কিছু, আর তার সাথে লাস্টের দিকে আলোচনা করব ইনসাইড কিছু কোয়েশ্চেন অ্যান্সার। দেখো, তোমাদের রিকোয়ারমেন্ট অনুযায়ী কিন্তু আমি সমস্ত নোটস প্রোভাইড করি, আর তোমরা যদি তাতে হেল্পফুল হয়ে থাকো প্লিজ আমাকে লাইক, কমেন্ট আর ভিডিওগুলো শেয়ার করে মোটিভেট করো। আর তোমাদের কী নোটস দরকার অবশ্যই আমাকে কমেন্ট বক্সে জানিও। আর যে নোটসগুলো আমি প্রোভাইড করছি সে বিষয়ে তোমাদের যদি কোনো কোয়ারি থাকে সেটাও আমাকে কমেন্ট বক্সে জানিও। আর শুধুমাত্র রিকোয়েস্ট রইল, ভিডিওগুলো লাইক করো, চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করো, বেল আইকনটা প্রেস করো, যাতে প্রত্যেকটা ভিডিও নোটিফিকেশন তোমরা সবার আগে পেতে পারো। তাহলে চলো স্টার্ট করি রাইটস অ্যান্ড ডিউটিস। ফার্স্টে এখানে দেখো অবজেক্টিভস আমি দেখিয়েছি, নাম্বার এতে আছে fill in the blanks. Number 1, every human being is entitled to some rights. These rights are known as human rights. Number 2, when we exercise our right, we should be careful to respect the rights of another person. Number 3, there are 7 fundamental rights laid down by the Constitution of India. Number 4, a consumer is a person who uses the economic goods and services. Number 5, the Consumer Protection Act 1986 protects the consumer rights in India and declares that every consumer has the right to exercise them. Number 6, to enjoy our rights properly, we have to make sure that we perform our duties as well. Next, number B, tick the correct answer. Number 1, there are some basic rights that we have as human beings. What are these rights called? Fundamental rights or human rights? Answer, human rights. Number 2, which fundamental right states that there is equality before law? Right to equality or right to freedom? Answer, right to equality. Number 3, which act promotes transparency in the working of the government? Consumer Protection Act or Right to Information Act? Answer, Right to Information Act. Number 4, which rights allow us to have information about the quality, quantity, purity and standard of the goods we buy in the market? Human rights or consumer rights? Answer, consumer rights. Number 5, where are the fundamental duties mentioned? Constitution of India, Bureau of Indian Standard. Answer, Constitution of India. Next, number C, true or false? Number 1, each individual has some rights as a human being which are known as human rights. True. Number 2, right to equality means that there is freedom of speech and expression. False. Number 3, India is a secular state as described by the Constitution of India. True. Number 4, as consumers, we have the right to have information about the quality of the goods we buy. True. Number 5, as good citizens, we should only be concerned about our rights and not our duties. আমি শুরু করার আগে কোয়েশ্চেন অ্যান্সারগুলো আরেকটা কথা বলতে চাই, তোমরা কিন্তু ভিডিওগুলো স্কিপ করে দেখো না। স্কিপ করে দেখলেই কিন্তু তোমাদের বুঝতে অসুবিধা হবে। তো উইদাউট স্কিপিং তো তোমরা ভিডিওগুলো পুরোপুরি মন দিয়ে দেখো, যাতে প্রত্যেকটা কোয়েশ্চেন অ্যান্সার তোমরা ভালোভাবে বুঝতে পারো, কোথা থেকে কীভাবে স্টার্ট হয়েছে, কিভাবে এন্ডিং হয়েছে। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে এবার আমরা চলে যাব কোয়েশ্চেন অ্যান্সার পার্টে। নাম্বার 1, what are fundamental rights? The basic rights provided by the Constitution of India to the citizens are known as fundamental rights. Number 2, explain the right to freedom of religion. India is a secular country as described by the Constitution of India. Hence, one is free to practice any religion and have the freedom to manage religious affairs. Number 3, how is the right to constitutional remedies important? Sometimes our fundamental rights can be violated, for which we can fight for our rights by seeking improvement from the courts. This is how the right to constitutional remedy is important. Number 4, explain the significance of the Right of Information Act. The right to The Right to Information Act is an act to the Parliament of India. Under the provisions of the act of this act, any citizens may request information from a body of the government. Number 5, what are consumer rights? Why are they important? As consumers, we have contained rights so that we are not exploited are known as consumer rights. In this right, we have the right to obtain information about the quality, quantity, purity and standard of goods and services. This is why consumer rights are important. Next, number 6. Mention any 4 fundamental duties we have as citizens of our country. First point, to abide by the Constitution of India and respect the national flag and the national anthem. Next point, to protect the unity and integrity of India. Next point, to defend the country and provide national service when called upon to do so. Last point, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India. তো এবার আমি আসবো তোমাদের এক্সট্রা কোয়েশ্চেন আনসার পার্টে, as I have told. So first, number 1, what are human rights? Each individual has some rights as a human being which are known as human rights. Number 2, what are fundamental duties? As citizens of the country, we have certain duties, for example, looking after public property, protecting the natural environment and protecting the unity of the country. These duties are known as fundamental duties. Number 3, how many fundamental rights given to us by the Constitution of India? There are 7 fundamental rights given to us by the Constitution of India. Number 4, which is the longest written constitution in the world? The Constitution of India is the longest written constitution in the world. Number 5, mention the name of fundamental rights. Number 1, right to equality. Number 2, right to freedom. Number 3, right against exploitation. Number 4, right to freedom of religion. Number 5, cultural and educational rights. Number 6, right of children to free and compulsory education. Number 7, right to constitutional remedies. Number 6, what do you mean by right to equality? This means that there is equality before law. There can be no discrimination on grounds of race, caste or religion. Number 7, what do you mean by right against exploitation? This right means that all forms of child labor, forced labor and human trafficking are prohibited by law. What is secular? Secular means not bound by a religious rule. Number 9, explain right to freedom of religion. India is a secular state, means one is free to practice and religion and have the freedom to manage religious affairs. Number 10, explain cultural and educational rights. This right allows any section of the population to conserve their culture or language. This right also allows religious minorities to set up their own educational institutions. Number 11, when did the right of children to free and compulsory education come into force? Which facilities do we get by this right? This right came into force in 2009. It makes education a fundamental right of every child. The government ensures free education to all the children up to the age of 14, especially for the lesser privileged. Next, আমি extra কিছু objective তোমাদের জন্য বানিয়েছি, fill in the blanks. Each of us is entitled to human right without any discrimination. Number 2, the Constitution of India provides some basic rights to the citizens of the country known as fundamental rights. Number 3, looking after public property, protecting the natural environment and protecting the unity of the country are our fundamental duties. Number 4, discrimination means unfair treatment of people on the basis of race, age, color or gender. Number 5, India is a secular state as described by the Constitution of India. Number 6, India has 24 high courts at the state and union territories level. Number 7, the high court are headed by the Chief Justice. Number 8, the Supreme Court is the highest court with the Chief Justice of India as its head. Number 9, Justitia or the Lady Justice is the Roman goddess of justice. Number 10, Roman goddess justice often depicted holding a sword and scales. Number 11, the Indian symbol of law has been derived from Lady Justice. Number 12, the Bureau of India's Standards BIS is a national body of India that looks into the matter of quality, certification and standardization of products. Number 13, the BIS has developed a certification mark known as the Indian Standards Index ISI. Number 14, the Consumer Protection Act 1986 protects the consumer rights in India. So, আমি কমপ্লিট করলাম আজকে রাইটস অ্যান্ড ডিউটিস। ভিডিওটা লাইক করতে ভুলো না, তার সাথে চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করো, বেল আইকনটা প্রেস করো, তাতে আমি একটু মোটিভেট হব আরও ভালো ভালো তোমাদের জন্য ভিডিও বানাতে, আরও নতুন নতুন তোমাদের জন্য চ্যাপ্টার নিয়ে আসছে, যাতে তোমরা নোটসগুলো পেয়ে হেল্পফুল হও। তাই বলছি তোমাদের বন্ধুদের সাথেও ভিডিওগুলো শেয়ার করো, যাতে তোমরা সবাই মিলে এই ভিডিওগুলো দেখে হেল্পফুল হও, এটাই আমার মেইন এম। কোনো ভিডিও যদি তোমাদের মিস হয়ে গিয়ে থাকে, ডেসক্রিপশন আর প্লেলিস্টে ক্লাস ওয়াইজ সাবজেক্ট ওয়াইজ সমস্ত ভিডিও লিঙ্ক দেওয়া আছে, চেক আউট করে নাও। তো আজকে এটুকুই, সবাই সুস্থ থেকো, ভালো থেকো, মন দিয়ে পড়াশোনা করো, বাই, টেক কেয়ার।